as you can probably see, I'm somewhat obsessed with pork buns, so I thought I'd do my version. So I've got some pork here, which is some pork belly, and it's finely sliced. You can see how fatty that pork belly is. I want this pork to be really fatty like this because it's going to go lovely and crisp in the pan and also keep it quite moist. Now once that's thinly sliced, you want to bring it to room temperature, and I'm going to marinate this in a char siu sauce. So that is quite traditional when you go to a Chinese takeaway store and you get pork belly or pork fillet in the delicious sauce. This you can get from all your supermarkets now, and it's a combination of honey, soy, fermented soybean, and some spices. It smells delicious. It's not only going to stain the pork belly, so give it a lovely colour, but it's going to give it that sweet and sour flavour too. And now to accentuate the sweetness, some caster sugar, just a sprinkle. And to give it a dark colour, some dark soy. You want about 1/4 cup of dark soy. Whenever you're cooking Chinese or Cantonese food, it's always about balance, the sugar, so the sweetness and the saltiness. So I'm always taking that into consideration when I'm making a marinade like this. We'll give that a stir. And that's it, 3 simple ingredients for this marinade. Now I'll add the pork. I'll pop that in there. If you have a little bit more time on your hands, give this a mix and then marinate it in the fridge for an hour. Better speed this up because I can hear a little baby crying, obviously wanting these pork buns. All right, now I'm going to start cooking this. So a nice hot wok. I've been preheating this for about 2 to 3 minutes. You want it to smoke slightly. We'll add some oil, some vegetable oil to the pan, and we can do this in batches. So half of this can go in. It's a good sizzle. And separate the strands of pork belly. While that's happening, I can prepare some of the condiments to go with this. Some spring onions that I've just finely chopped. I've kept it in some cold water so it stays crisp. And some cucumber that I picked up from the market just downstairs from here. I'm going to cut this on an angle and just fine slices to add to my pork buns. Let's have a look at this pork. Have a look at that. See how sticky and caramelized that is? That's what I want for my pork buns. I'll take this first batch out. Just drain off the excess oil. We'll need that for the next round of pork. And then if you see any of those caramelized bits in the base of the wok, scoop them up and then pop them in. Okay, last batch. And now you need some buns for these, some steamed bao buns. You can get them at quite a lot of Asian supermarkets now, but I am very lucky today because the chef here at Longhua has prepared some homemade ones. These are so yummy. They're cloud-like in texture and really sweet. And he's made them in the shape that he actually makes his custard buns. So this is quite a large portion. You actually only need one of these pork buns to be quite full. So I'll just cover that in my steamer basket while we finish off this pork. I'll turn the heat off. And we'll take that out of the wok. And now to cut through the fattiness of the pork, what I like to add is some acidity. You can add some vinegar to it. I found some beautiful lemons down the market, so I'm going to use some fresh lemon juice that I'll squeeze over the pork. You don't want to add the lemon juice to the wok because once it starts to caramelize, you don't get that freshness of the lemon. So that's why I do it at the last minute. Okay, to plate this up, I'm just going to serve it in this steamer basket. I'll just cut the bao buns straight down the center, leaving it attached on one side. See how soft they are in the center? Ooh, looks good. Now I'm going to add some of the pork and I'll add a few thin slices of that. Any of that extra crispy, glossy sauce bits, we'll add that too. And now for some cucumber to freshen it up, along with the subtle onion flavour from the spring onions. See? I think he's excited about these pork buns. And then I'm just going to close that, give it a good squeeze, and that is ready to enjoy. But to take it one step further, I like to have a few condiments on the side, some chili sauce and black vinegar. I told you this is not traditional, but it's the way that I love to have my pork buns. Dip it into the chili sauce, into some black vinegar, and then take a giant bite. It's so delicious, I just want to cry. I'm kidding. That is so yummy. The pork buns here are so divine, and these ones, make them at home because you'll love them too.